Ralph Watson, international speaker, so we're quite lucky to have him in the UK with us at the time. Also a business coach, and I'm sure he'll tell you a bit more about himself and how you can get in touch with him if you'd like him to help you with your business skills. I'm sure there's lots of ways you can do that. So I'll let you make a start, Ralph. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Nice to see some of the faces. Quick show of hands. Who was here the last one? I know you were here. Couldn't get you off. I know you were this side. Couldn't get you off. Excellent. So welcome back. For those of you here for your first time, welcome. I'm damn sure you will probably never come back after my little stint. That's a challenge. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many of you have a role model in your life? Somebody that you would like to be like, somebody you've admired, somebody who does something that you'd like to be able to do. Yeah? Great, excellent. So here's my tip. If you haven't got one, get one. Get one, because we stretch ourselves by finding people who do the things that we want to do and do it well and modelling them. So I'd like to introduce you to my role model. This is my role model. Okay? I'm going to tell you a little story. I had a very unhappy childhood. I was born at a very early age, and by the time I was about 10, I was pretty miserable. And I'll tell you why I was miserable. I hated my name. You see, I was called Ralph, and at the time when I grew up in North London, in a place called Natter, and when I went to school, my friends were called Michael, Andrew, David, Peter. Great names. And do you know why they're great names? Because you could shorten them, so you become Mickey, Pete, Dave, and real kind of macho names. What was I? I was Ralphie. And the number of times I went home and I said to my mum and dad, can't I change my name? Can't I be something else? Can't I be anything but Ralph? And my dad said to me one day, he said, look, son, why don't you think of it like this? You are the fourth generation of Ralphs in this family. And the name Ralph has a meaning and has a history. So go find out about it. So I went off, and in those days we didn't have Google. We had encyclopedias. Bless you. Anyone here remember encyclopedias?
Britannica.
That's it.
Showing our age.
Speak for yourself, mate. So I went off and I did a little bit of research. I did a little bit of drug digging, and I asked a few people, and I discovered the name Ralph actually has ancient history. If you go back to the old Norse times, the Vikings, the Danes, the Saxons, the name Ralph comes from the old name Wolf, which means wolf. So instead of being Ralph, I became Wolfie.
Not Wolfie Smith.
No, power to the people. It doesn't quite work, does it? However, what happened then was it began a lifelong kind of connection, a lifelong interest in the wolf. And so many years later, I began looking at the wolf itself in the wild and the wolf pack in the wild and asking myself, how can I make this a role model? What do these creatures do in the wild? And how can I relate that to my business and to other people's businesses? And a bit of digging, a bit of reading, a bit of using the modern encyclopedia, the book of YouTube. And I made some discoveries. What I want to share with you this afternoon is some ways of thinking, some attitudes and some strategies that come out of similarities between you and I and this creature, because we are not that far apart. Okay, this guy's got 4 legs, I've only got 2, however. And as we go through, what I'm going to ask you to do is to just challenge yourself to think a little bit differently, to adopt some different strategies, some different behaviours, and see how that takes you forward. My name is Ralph Watson, as I've already been introduced. I'm a public speaker, I'm a business coach, I'm a leadership development specialist. I've worked all over most of the eastern side of the planet. Been west a couple of times, didn't like that much, but I go east a lot. So I've worked all over Europe, I've worked across the Middle East, down into India, Sri Lanka, loved it. This guy goes with me everywhere I go, and the teams and businesses that I work with who adopt this stuff become supercharged performers. So, are you ready to learn?
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
question. Good. So, I'm going to share with you a few strategies, just a few, and give you some things to think about before you go away. And the first is, when you look at this guy, or guy, can I say guy, is it all right? Ladies, if I say guy, it's just kind of generic, okay? When you look at this guy, he has, first of all, a very key skill set or attitude that we can use, and this is it. When you look at this fella in the wild, he is absolutely focused. The wolf in the wild exists in a merciless environment. A bit like Birmingham, really, I suppose. It's okay, when I'm in Manchester, I say it's a bit like Manchester. He exists in a merciless environment, and he is focused on survival and thriving. The wolf in the wild has to be completely focused. So the wolf has an outcome. Just as we need to have outcomes, we need to have goals. All of you people sitting here, I assume, are in business, yes? Okay, little check here. This is yes. This is no. This, I'm in the wrong place. So, the wolf is completely focused. When you look at the top business people, the top athletes, the top sports people, the top performers across any walk of life, they are focused on their outcome. They know what they want to achieve. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you go shopping at some time during the week? You don't do any shopping. Okay, so how many of you, when you go shopping, make a list of what you want to buy? Special question now. How many of you make a list of what you don't want to buy? So why is it when I sit down with business people and individuals and I ask them, what is your goal? They tell me what they don't want. I don't want to live here. I don't want to do this job. I don't want that. I don't want this. Why? Because as human beings, we have developed this great knack of focusing on what we don't want. Well, let me tell you this, if that's what you focus on, guess what?
That's what you get.
That's what you're going to get. Because where you put your focus is what you're going to get. So you need to focus on what you want to achieve. And this guy is not very different to us. Absolute focus. And that focus means that you will do whatever you need to do. Have you heard the saying, do what you need to do now so you can do what you want to do tomorrow? Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. Now, I had quite a long drive last week sometime, I think it was, and I was listening to, I don't know if any of you listen to the radio in the afternoon, if you get the chance. They were in Manchester, and all the Olympians and the Paralympians were all being greeted and celebrated in Manchester. Did any of you watch any of the Olympics?
Hardly.
Yeah. Well, I have to say I sometimes sat up till 4 o'clock in the morning because I was gobsmacked, not just by the performance, but the absolute dedication of these people achieving the very best they can be. Complete focus. Now, how many of you here have heard this wonderful saying, work-life balance? Yeah, which is lovely, and that's how it should be. But there are times when your focus means that you need to put all of your energy into something. That's how Mo Farah wins multiple gold medals. That's how Jess Ennis-Hill becomes an Olympic champion, has a baby, then goes back out there and gets the silver medal, because it's complete focus. That is how people create businesses that are powerhouses of success, is to get that focus. So you've got to have a goal and you've got to be completely focused on it. Now, I know we have more than one HR person in the room. So I will make no apology for what I'm going to say next, which is, how How many of you have heard of SMART goals?
Yeah.
Yeah? Great. Well, give me a break. Give me a break. The SMART goal is a construct, and that construct all too often leads people to create mediocrity. No major achievement in human history has been the result of a SMART goal. Cast your mind back in history to antiquity and imagine yourself at the moment standing in the tent of Alexander the Great. And there he is with all his generals around him, and he says, look lads, I want to conquer the known world. I haven't got long, but I have got to make sure we conquer the known world. Now, how many of his generals said, don't know, Alex, I'm not sure that's a SMART goal. Is that achievable? Is that realistic? No. So when you think about your goals, yes, you can smile. It's going to get me after. When you think about your goals, get outside of this. Is it nicely achievable? Is it nicely realistic? Stretch the boundaries. Get outside of the comfort zone, because nothing, damn all changes in your comfort zone. Get outside of your comfort zone, because that's where change happens, that's where growth happens, and start challenging yourself. I think it was Richard Branson who once said, if your goals don't make you sick, they're not big enough. Yeah? So you've got to have that absolute focus on what it is that you want to achieve. The second is this. You need an insatiable appetite for success. No great performer in any aspect of human endeavour settles for second best. I'll go back to the Olympians. They get on their plinth, standing there, I've got a bronze medal, or I've got a silver medal, and they're happy, aren't they? Yeah, but do you know what's going on inside them? Shit, that's what it is. Got another 4 years before I can get on that one. You've got to have that insatiable appetite that says, I am going to achieve this. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get what I want to get. And then you've got to be prepared to do it, because if you're not, hey, you can settle for the silver, you can settle for the bronze, or you can sit in the back and go, hey, he did really well, fantastic. When really you want to be up the front there, picking that medal up, picking that reward up. And you've got to have an appetite for that. You've got to be prepared to hunt that success, to do whatever you have to do to get there. With me so far?
Yep.
Good, excellent. Number 3. I have too many meetings with people. Is it something I said? I have too many meetings with people who tell me they're going to do things. And guess what? They don't do it. That's right. I sat down yesterday with a gentleman who's one of my clients, and I held him accountable. I said, look, here are the 4 things that you were committed to do since our last meeting. So just give me some feedback. What have you done? And what did he give me? He gave me 4 excuses. Now, he might think they were reasons. They weren't. They were excuses. You've got to take relentless action, and it's got to be effective action, but you've got to do it. If you don't get off your butt and go and make something happen, it's not going to happen. No apologies for the word but. Okay? You've got to make things happen. And that action can be small things, it can be major things. I have a great friend, Dave Heiner, who's a public speaker. Some of you may have known Dave. Have you met Dave? He talks about biting big goals down into chunks. You know, how does the ant eat the elephant? One bite at a time. But you've got to do it relentlessly. You've got to be committed to doing it. You've got to make sure that everything that you say you're going to do, you're going to do. To give you an example, I had a meeting last week with a business associate of mine, and we made a list of the things that we were going to do before we meet again tomorrow afternoon. Now, all of my list is ticked. All of my list was ticked on Monday afternoon. I know for certain sure that when we sit down tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to see a list and no ticks. Guess what the White Wolf is going to do about that? So you've got to have relentless action. Now here's one that's going to appeal to all of you, because you're here. You've got to choose your pack carefully. Who do you connect with that can help you to achieve your outcomes? Who can help you to achieve your goals? Yeah. That was almost touching. Give each other a little stroke. I laugh, we joke, but it's serious. Surround yourself with the people who will nourish you, who will nurture you on your journey to achieving your goals. You come to networking events like this. You know, I've been speaking at a few of these since I only kind of really arrived back in the UK in December, having spent most of my life out east for the last 15 years. And I've been coming to a lot of these events, and they're brilliant. And I see a lot of people talk to each other, and I see a lot of people exchange business cards. And this little voice in my head is saying, I wonder where that business card's going to end up. Under the leg of a table, folded in half, perhaps wedging the door closed because it won't shut properly, or is it going to be used? How many of you sitting here now have actually exchanged business cards today? Good. My question to you is, so what? So what are you going to do with that business card? Do you have some kind of process for managing your connections? You've got to use that, and you've got to find the people who can nurture you, who can help you, and the first thing you've got to do is to help them. Because you don't come to events like this just to go, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. The way that these work is you give. The way that these guys thrive in the wild is that they surround themselves with other creatures who have the strength, the agility, and the focus. Every creature in that pack has its role. Watch them hunt. You've got the focused, straight for the throat guys who go in a straight line after the prey. Then you've got the ones who are a little bit more nous, a little bit older perhaps, like me and some of you, who will perhaps take a slightly different route. It's a little less energetic. They'll take a slightly different route. Guess where they are when the prey is coming towards them? They're waiting. So everyone has their role, and they all carry that role through. So surround yourself. If you have one-man bands here, I'm a one-man band. No, sorry. One-man band. Build the connections and the contacts. People who are working in teams or in small organisations, make sure that you understand each other. Make sure you've got the connection that works for you. Make sure that people know you. So it's my car being delivered. I had the great fortune a few years ago to meet the guy. I think it might be my car being delivered. Meet the guy who was the CEO of Dubai Duty Free. Have any of you flown through Dubai ever? The duty free, it's like Aladdin's cave. You can buy anything from a Staple to an S-Class Mercedes, you know, you can get anything in there. And this guy, Irish gentleman, ran the whole operation. He'd been instrumental in setting it up about 30 years ago, and he'd run it right the way through. And I had the great privilege of walking the floor with him, as he put it. And he was introducing me to people out on the shop floor, on the night shift, in Dubai Duty Free, by name. Over 250 staff, he knows them by name. Not only that, but he knows if their wife has been sick, or if their wife's just had a baby, or their kids have just started school, whatever. This is a man who surrounds himself with the right people, and he gets to know them. It's the only time I've ever been in a room with a CEO I'll change that. I've ever been in a room with a group, and when the CEO comes in, they all stand up. Not because they've been instructed to, but because they have the greatest of respect for this guy. So build your connections, get to know people as human beings. Now I have this great love, this thing called HR, human resources, okay? So the challenge, and we've already had this conversation, haven't we?
Yeah.
The challenge is to find another name for that, because it's about human beings. So it's not like the collateral damage department, or it's like putting people into pigeonholes department. It's about people, isn't it? So deal with people as people. Choose your pack very carefully. Your challenge before you leave here is to get to know at least 3 people well, so that when you go out of here, you think to yourself, I must get in touch with, I must contact. Yeah? Get that flowing. Otherwise, you come in, you have coffee and natter, and then you forget about it till next month. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that's what you do, then you wasted your afternoon and your time. And be prepared to make changes. So you introduced yourself as a personal development trainer?
Yeah.
Great. Gentleman with the book. Brilliant. So what are they actually about?
Changing lives.
They're about change. Be prepared to make a change. There's no one, and no one of us is perfect. I've spent long enough in the Middle East to know that the only perfection exists outside of this world. Yeah? None of us is perfect. We seek excellence. So to get there, to achieve that, you need to look at, what can I change? Now, that change can be outside of you. It can be peripheral to you. So, for example, are there people that you frequently have contact with or connection with who are, what's the nice word for this? Energy vampires. Have you met them?
Chi vampires.
Right. Oh, I like that one. A chi vampire. It's like they kind of drain you. The yearbutts. Have you met the yearbutts?
No, but
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've had a great idea. I'm just going to go yearbut. Or they go, risky, mate, risky.
I call them the butt heads.
They've all been trained as plumbers, haven't they?
No, so I call them butt heads.
That's it, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. And that's what they do. They butt everything. And sometimes you want to do that, don't you? So sometimes you need to disconnect from some of those. Or sometimes you've got those in your family. What do you do if you've got those in your family? Yeah?
you've lost it.
Minimise.
Yeah. You lay a new patio. Under the patio, you have layers. Yeah. Now sometimes you've got to sit down and have a long conversation with someone and say, look, this is what I want to achieve, and this is good for both of us because, or all of us because, and I really need your help. Not, listen, you squirrel, you need to do something differently. Engage their help. Ask them to help you. If you find that you are connecting with people who are draining you too often and too much, then perhaps you need to be in a different place. This is a great place to meet positive people. This is a great place to get great ideas. There are other places you can go where everybody's going to say, oh yeah, but. Yeah? Okay. Some of those changes may need to be in you. One of the things I'm doing here today is inviting you to change a little bit the way that you think. Yeah? To stop thinking about sometimes, oh, it's got to be this or this, this or this. Focus on what you want. What needs to change in you in order to achieve that? Anyone here in coaching? Are there any coaches here? No? All right. I thought you were a coach.
I'm so engrossed listening to you. Sorry.
Right, my fee. Coaches are people who help you to make changes. Now, I spend a lot of time with people who are in business, helping them focus on their business and make changes in their business. But I tell you this, there is no professional development without personal development. You've got to work on you as much as you work on your business. Otherwise, you're both screwed. Yeah? Because your business won't grow if you're not growing with it and as fast and perhaps even faster than it. Perhaps there are things that you used to believe that haven't been helpful to you. I've been there. I'm sure some of you have been there in the days when you thought, I couldn't do that. I've sat in a room like this and I watched somebody up here giving a talk and I thought, oh, I'd love to do that, but there's that but again. I'd love to do that, but... Well, sometimes you've got to just take hold of that and you've got to change it. You've got to stop listening to the voice in your head. And we've all got them, haven't we?
Mm.
That little voice in your head that says, well, that's risky. No, you shouldn't do that. You're not good enough to do that. They don't like you. They don't like you. Now, there's a great way to deal with those little voices in your head. It's very simple. You just say, shut up. Just shut up, okay? And you keep saying that long enough and those voices will change. The other thing that will happen is that as you change what you think, as you change what you do, as you become better at what you want to do, those voices will become a different kind of voice. They will be the voices that say, come on, this is going to be good. Now, I've seen people who would stand over there watching these seats fill thinking, oh my God, it's my turn in a minute. Okay? And 20 years ago, that would have been me. Now I sit over there and I see the seats filling up and I think, oh no, we've got a couple of empties here. Can you just pop out and drag some people in off the street? Because I like to see all the seats full. So get that change of attitude in there. Okay? Once you put all of those together, then you're on your way to becoming like these guys. Then you're on your way to high performance. Then you're on your way to being able to do the things that the top athletes do, that the top business people do, that the top actors, film actors do. Any walk of life, you will find the best performers. And those top performers, I assure you, are wolves. Yeah? The question is, have you got what it takes to be a wolf? And I can tell you, the answer is very simple. The answer is yes. You have got in you what it takes to be that wolf. The only thing you need to do is to reach in there and pull it out. Now, how many of you have got a mobile phone on you? Good. So here's an invitation. I'd like you to take your mobile phone out. Has anybody here got a mobile phone without a camera? Right. Take a picture of that. While you do that, I'll introduce you. This is Laika. Laika is a Siberian Husky. She is wonderful. Go near her with a camera and you'll find out that she is also part wolf. She's photophobic, camera phobic. Okay. Now the reason I'm putting this up here is very simple. Is you have all now got my business card. Yes! Reason number 2, up there is my website, ralphwatson.com. Go on the website and you can download free copies of my book. I am not here to sell you my book. No, it's not about selfies, ladies.
It's about advertising your social media.
Unless I'm in it, okay? Unless I'm in it. Lots of selfies with me in it. Okay, now, I have brought along with me today 4 copies of my book. You can download this as an ebook, or you can go away with a hard copy. This is one of my books. It's called Countermove. It's a guide to the art of negotiating. This is putting the wolf in the negotiating room. I want to give these 4 copies away. Okay? So, I'm going to do it like this. I'm just going to direct a question to the very attractive lady sitting at the desk. Have you got everybody registered there? Okay. Have they got numbers next to them? Okay. Right. Flexibility of behaviour.
Yes, there is numbers.
There is numbers. It's very easy. How many people are on that list?
Over 25.
Over 25. Okay, I've got 4 books. Okay. Person number 4.
David Waltz.
David.
I'm not on that list.
Congratulations. Shout your name out.
Sam. Tyler.
Sam. Write Sam anywhere on that list, but not at the bottom. The person who is number 11 on that list.
Lisa Lockley.
Lisa Lockley. Oh, well. Can you pass that back for me? The person who is number 16 on that list.
Sam.
Have you met my sister, Sam?
Well.
The person who is number 21 on that list.
Oh, Sam.
Another Sam.
on the list.
Okay, number 20 on that list.
Alison Chester Lambert.
Alison, can you pass that one back for me? Okay. For the rest of you, all you need to do is go on the website, you can download it. You give me a business card and I'll make sure you get a copy. Okay. Have you had a good time?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, good, good, excellent. So my question for you is this. Have you got what it takes to be a wolf? Are you going to go away and do something that's different as a result of being here? Yeah, this is yes. Yeah, if you would. Yeah, I'm going to do something different in Mumbai. Okay. If the answer's no, well, that's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a great time being here with you. I just want to mention one very simple thing. I have a project which is very close to my heart and which I would like to talk to you about at some stage. I have a community that we are busy setting up. It's called Inspired Impact. It's a community for business people, coaches, speakers, trainers, people who want to make a difference in the community. We have an event coming up on the 24th of November. 24th of November over in Rugby in Warwickshire. If you'd like to be there, all you need to do is to email me and I will make sure that you get details. Okay? Other than that, if you've had a great time, please go away and tell everybody I saw Ralph Watson in action. If you did not, go away and say, oh, that was rubbish. It was Tony Robbins and I hate him. Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions for Ralph before he sits down and rests?
Questions? Yeah, see, that's why I never, because they all go, okay.
Okay, give me 3 attributes of your wolf-like nature.
My wolf-like nature. I am absolutely focused on what I do. I am merciless in my approach to getting things done. So when I'm working with clients, I warn you, if you ever become one of my coaching clients, if you agree to do something, you better the hell get it done. Yeah? Because to me, coaching isn't about stroking egos and how does that make you feel and isn't that nice and cozy. It's about getting someone from here to here. And I will do whatever I need to do to get someone from there to there. Okay? So those are the 2. The third one is I connect with the people that I want to help and who can help me. I meet hundreds of people every week, and out of those hundreds of people, there are probably about 10 who I move on in a relationship with, in the nicest sense of the word. Okay, and gentlemen.
Can I
So
have
that's
four?
the 3. Pardon?
Can I have 4?
Go on.
Loyalty to those people that you actually sort of...
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, Mike! You snuck it in. You snuck it in. Nice to see you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Do you believe in deadlines for your goals?
I don't believe in deadlines. I believe in putting a time frame on, and I believe in planning the actions that you're going to take in order to ensure that it's done by the time you want it done.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with deadlines is people see a deadline and they think, oh, I don't have to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. And before you know where you are, this thing's smacking you in the mouth.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened to me.
Right.
When I've goal setting. Yeah.
You've got to set out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And if you want to understand how to really manage your time properly, that's the man over there. He'll save you a lot of time. Okay. So that you are constantly taking steps towards your goal. Assess every action you take. Ask yourself each day, what am I going to do today that's taking me closer to that goal? And then in the evening, ask yourself, did I do it? Yeah? And be brutal with yourself. Be wolf-like with yourself. Yeah? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. You're very quiet up the back there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I heard a snore. Anyone got anything else they'd like to ask? Well, I'm around. I'm going to get a drink. I'm probably going to sneak one of those little donuts. So please come and talk to me. Okay? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.